Spring has officially sprung and I am so excited. It is full-on puttering season. It's time to putter here, putter there, putter all around the garden. If you're new, welcome to my channel. This is my garden diary channel where I just share what I'm doing in my garden. I'm a 20-something cut flower farming and gardening on about 1/8 of an acre in Zone 7B, Central Virginia. And today we're just going to do some very calm, little chill garden tasks. In my last video, I planted out some beets. And this video is actually me planting out. We have to go back to the future, if that makes sense. So I planted out about half of this tray of beets prior to my previous video, if that makes sense. It doesn't really matter. Anyways, I've had trouble with beets, basically. That's the story. That's where it all starts. I've had trouble with beets, but I love beets. And I have a really sweet story about my dad and beets. He's not dead, but I will definitely be sharing this story when he is, fondly, as I'm sharing it now while he's still alive. But anyways, we were driving in the car as a family about, I think not this past holiday season, but the season before. So 2 years ago almost, or a year, whatever. And we were talking about New Year's resolutions and everyone was like, I don't know, da da da. And I was like, my New Year's resolution is to eat more vegetables and things like beets. And my dad was like, beets? And I said, yeah, I want to eat more beets. I think they're really good for you. And so while we were still driving in the car, he had my brother look up a beet recipe. On the way home, we stopped at a Whole Foods and my mom and I went in and got all the ingredients for this recipe that my dad had made my brother look up. When we got home, he made this whole little, I don't know if I'd say feast, but a whole little meal. It was really, really good steak, which I don't really eat that much steak, but when my dad makes steak, I gotta eat it because it's gonna be really good. So I ate some steak. He made these really good, small little, fingerling potatoes and then this beet salad. And I have been obsessed with it ever since. That's the only way that I've eaten beets ever really in my life. Growing up, we didn't eat beets and I love it. It's so good. And I've been trying to have beets in my garden. I tried last year several times in several different places and several different methods, but I've never tried transplanting them. And I will admit that these transplants are probably not ideal. They got a little leggy, they got a little stressed, but I'm just trying them anyways. And I'm going to direct seed beets as often as I can in as many places as I can in my garden to try and get at least a handful of beets. That's what I want. I just want to be able to make one of these beet salads from beets from my garden. If you want to know the recipe, I'll see if I can try and find it and link it down below. It's a Mediterranean dish, so I don't want to mess it up culturally. But basically, it's you cook the beets, you chop them up kind of small, in little cubes, and then you add in some very, very thinly sliced red onion, lemon juice, mint, a little bit of cumin, and you shake it all up. You let it sit. Oh, if you let it sit in the fridge, it's like pickled beets with onion, with the lemon, with the mint. It's just so good. It's so good. I love it. It's so refreshing. It's almost like you could drink the juice because there's a little liquid that forms at the bottom. You could almost drink it. If you like bitter, if you don't like super sweet things, 10 out of 10 would recommend. It's so good and it will be perfect in the summer. I love it. It is grandma tested, grandma approved. I made it for her once when I was visiting her. She loved it. So I really want to make this beet salad in my garden. Anyways, it's puttering season, like I said, and part of puttering means weeding. And so I've been weeding around the garden and I have these little violas that pop up everywhere. I don't know if they're native, but I don't think they're a problem and I love them. They're so sweet and they actually are perennial, so they come up year after year from a rhizome, and you can kind of see they're pretty thick, sturdy rhizomes, but I'm trying to get them to establish in areas that I want versus just in pathways where I'm constantly stepping on them. I would love a nice purple carpet because my garden is mostly purple colored and I have my yellow and white garden, but I have The rest of my garden is very purpley. So I absolutely love these, and they bloom right around this time every year. And I think I want to make a little memorial garden for my grandmother because she also loved purple, and these are blooming around the time that she passed away. So that might be coming up. I'm not sure. We'll see. I might just do it on my own, for my own personal healing. But I love the little violas. And I also have some astilbe that I bought last year, and I swear I thought I killed these poor plants. Hopefully this isn't a reoccurring theme, okay? I'm trying to be better. I'm learning from my mistakes. Last year, one of my local nurseries, I say local, it's like an hour away from me because that's as close as I can get where I live to having like really a good selection of like a ton of plants. But I kind of went crazy because they had a 50% off sale. It looks like somebody has hibernated in my little plant over winter, which I think is so cute. I love these little guys. He's so cute. It's not what it looks like, okay? He is alive, I promise. We find ourselves sleeping in weird positions. He was definitely not stuck. He was definitely just sleeping in his little pot. He's so cute. I have these little skinks everywhere. I think they're the 5-lined brown skinks. I'm not entirely sure. I also have blue-tailed skinks as well, so I'm not sure if this is what they look like when they're juveniles, but anyways, very cute, very fun.
Wake up.
My local nursery had a 50% off sale, and I went a little wild, but I'd never really bought plants like that. Like, I never bought like shrubs and perennials and like just a bunch of plants all at once, and I made the mistake of not planting them out. I didn't know where I was going to put them, so I thought, I'll just keep them in their pots where I think I want them to go. But our summers here are so incredibly hot, like so intensely hot, that if you don't water something that's in a pot for a day, it dries out. And I didn't know that. Now I know that. But a lot of the things that I got were really struggling for a very long time until I figured that out. So we lost a few brave soldiers along the way, like my laurels, which I've talked about. But these astilbe are still alive. They are coming back, and I am very excited for them. They like deep shade, but I'm not sure where they're going to be happy because I have areas with deep shade. They're far away and I'm not going to see them, and I'm afraid they're going to get taken over by weeds. So my plan in this area is that if they start getting taken over by weeds or the sun starts to really beat down on them, I'll create like a little shade for them, like even putting something to shade them out or planting something that will shade them out. That's the plan. We'll see how that goes. I'll keep you updated if they thrive or if they die. In this garden, you got to fight for your life, And I feel like I'm going to say this every season change, but spring is such a fun season. I feel like the more I garden and the more I get to know my garden, the more I enjoy each season for what it is. And yeah, spring is just full of life and energy, and I'm so here for it. And in my last video, I told you I got some shrubs, and girl, the shrubs I got, I'm so excited. I was so excited. Okay, I was not planning on going to the garden center. I have a slightly closer to me garden center with less selection. I was like, let me just look. They'll have like, plant starts. I'm not going to buy anything. I'm just going to look. She said. She did not, in fact, just look. But okay, in my defense, I was walking around. I wasn't picking up anything. I didn't even bring a cart with me. Like, I didn't even pick up a cart or a basket or anything. I was just looking, seeing the prices, getting the lay of the land, planning in my head what I would come back and maybe get later. And then I found the clearance section. Please save these plants. They just need a little love. And I said, let me look at this. Price tag, $5. I said, is that serious? Are they for real right now? Is this really $5? Yes, the shrub was in fact $5. You want to know what shrub it was? It was a 9-bark. I've wanted a 9-bark for years. As soon as I learned what they were, I was like, I need that in my garden. So they had not one, but two little joker 9-barks, which are ones with like the dark purple foliage, which is exactly what I want because I love purple, and I love purple in my garden, and I think the dark purple foliage is such a great backdrop to a lot of other colors. They had 2 of them for $5. They do look a little rough. That's not what I'm planting out right now, but I'm not going to make the same mistake. I am going to plant them right away, which is what you're seeing me doing with this plant. This was another one that was on discount, and you can kind of see why it might have been struggling a little bit with the root system. You have to forgive me because I'm from the South, even though I don't really have a Southern accent. Maybe I do. This is, I believe, a Cleyera, I'm not sure, Cleyera, Cleyera. It's a type of evergreen shrub. This one is from the Southern Living collection. It's the Leanne, or again, forgive my pronunciation if you pronounce it differently, but it is the Cleyera Leanne from Southern Living. And to me, this one looks pretty good. It did have some dying leaves towards the end, but the whole shrub is covered with what I think will be the new growth that's about to come out. But I think it was just too root bound in this pot. And when I took it out of the pot, I realized that there were almost like 3 trunks or 3 main roots or stems, I guess, coming up from the base. So I'm not sure if this was like multiple plants all put together and they're all growing together, but I gave it a little prune at the top, some of the things that were sticking out that I just didn't like aesthetically. But this thing can get very massive, it can get huge, so I'm a little, I'm not really sure where I want it, but I was like, I'm not making the same mistake with my laurels, and I just planted it in the ground, and I love the way it looks. I'm very excited about my plant purchases. It was a total of $25, and I had a 5% off coupon. Thank you very much for my reward system. So it's $20 for 3 pretty big shrubs. Obviously, they need a little help. That's why they were discounted. Yeah, I'm very excited. As long as I don't kill them, it was money well spent, time well spent, and I would not have been going to the garden center that day, but I'm glad that I did. Finally, I got some plant plugs, and unfortunately, my phone broke. I did a whole video of me opening them. And these are plugs from Farmer Bailey's that I got with my business partner for the flower farm, and they are in desperate need of attention and TLC, and we are not officially past our last frost date, even though I don't think we're going to get another frost, but you never know with spring weather. So I am up-potting some of the zinnias and the gomphrena into larger cell sizes just to hold them for another week or so. Yeah, there's plenty of room for these, but it's just a matter of figuring out where they're going to go so that they can get watered and get attention and all that fun stuff. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one, which will be a garden tour. So pretend you didn't see this one because the shrub was not there. Pretend you didn't see this, and also the things I planted out on Monday's video were also not there, so just pretend you didn't see them, right? But I'm going to do a March garden tour, and the changes from February to March are insane. I'm so glad that I'm starting to do these garden tours because I think they're really going to help me in the doldrums of winter next year. Like and subscribe if you want to see that, and I will see you in the next one.